Hey, this is Leroy Downs. Welcome to another version of the Just Jazz Cafe, where we actually get a chance to talk to some really, really special human beings that play this wonderful music that we call jazz. Right now, this cat's been on the planet 80 years, man. Never learned to play the piano, but all of these melodies and harmonies and love just burst from his sound. You and I know him as Mr. Monty Alexander.
See you today.
Man, I'm happy to see you too, bro. You looking good.
Feeling good. Feeling all right.
Well, you know what? That's something I know about you. I think you're always feeling all right, man. I don't see a day that you're not, brother.
Well, I fooled you because every now and then I don't feel all right. But guess what? I go into my feel all right mode
Yeah.
because we can bring feel all right to the guy who's not feeling all right. Because and I'll tell you why, if I'm playing music and I'm having a challenging day and I see those notes on the piano and I see the audience, guess what? Somehow, some magical, mysterious gifts comes upon me and I'm feeling all right.
You
And
know,
then the audience is feeling all right. That's what else is good. I'm not trying to impress them with how much I know. No, I just want to make people feel good. Yeah, that's what you do.
no, I agree with you, man. I recognize that when we were on the jazz cruise together, and I think people were saying that, you weren't feeling the best. But when I saw you and had a group of people around you, you were out in the lobby just resting, and a group of people around you, you were making them feel good, even though I knew you probably weren't feeling that good, man.
Well, thank you very much. And I don't know why, but it's a mysterious gift that I was given. Of late I've been honestly admitting to people that I never went to music school. I don't know any music. It sounds weird to say, but no, I never studied. Somehow I just loved it from my 3 year old getting acquainted with this thing called piano and other instruments. I said, man, this is better than anything I know. I had toys. The kids we have our toys, the train set, the cowboy guns, but piano was winning. And um, I was always enjoying it. And it's all I can say. It's a gift.
Well, this is one thing, I kind of know about you. I mean, for myself, I never actually went to music school. I didn't play anyway, but I had to be a part of this music. And I think when you learn this music and you have a friend like the piano sitting by you all of the time, it's you touch it and this vibration comes to you and like, oh, and there's this natural creation. Of course, it's different if the teachers are teaching you how to play and what to play. That's a little different. But to be able to go to the piano and have your ideas turn into this beautiful sound and you not actually learning the music, I think that makes you a special cat, man, and it keeps you with this happiness that you have.
Well, those of us that have that, we're ahead of the game because the key thing is I can't explain it. I don't even, and the people who try to explain, I just say, all right, you all explainers, explain all you want. It's like you can't explain a bird in flight. You can't when you get on that 747. How's that big hunk of iron get up in the air? You know what I mean? And it's it's a mystery, and I'm just honored and grateful that I got a hold of that. And that's been I never meant to have a career in music. I wouldn't know I'm going to go to school, learn this. My mother wanted me to be proper, go to lawyer, doctor, and that stuff. But the other thing came, and one day I brought home a couple of $100 and gave it to my mother and said, "Where'd you get that?" Like I was a thief or something. I said, "Wait a minute, I played the piano in a bar, and the guy paid me the money." And that's literally what happened. So I'm
Yeah.
still doing it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a blessing, and it's one of God's gifts, man. It's like you really don't
Amen.
have a choice in that. Once you get that music in you, that's your destiny on this earth to go ahead and create and give people joy.
And even if you're not actually one of the practitioners playing it like yourself, you got a hold of this love, and you want to know more, and you make friends as you're going along, the players themselves and all the other people that also love it.
Yeah,
So we have a love community.
no
That's
doubt.
what.
No doubt, man. Um, you know, I know you got a brand new album, man, D-Day. We definitely want to talk about that, you know.
Sure, sure.
But I know that like humans are literally at war with each other, man. I don't think there's a time in life that they haven't been. Um, and existing on the planet, you know, we all have mixed emotions in our hearts about how we feel, you know, and your album is called D-Day, which kind of sounds like, you know, it's coming to an end. But, you
Nope.
know, there's this overwhelming love that runs through your sound, man. And you know,
Gosh,
Lord
thank
knows,
you.
man, that no matter what you do and no matter what you're saying and playing, there's this overabundance of love that comes through every note you play.
Thank you. Thank you. That's such a reminder of what I seek, because from the beginning, and I mean, when I started meeting my elders, the guys I admired, that would allow me into their company. And I'll start by saying Ray Brown.
Mhm.
When Ray and I played our first notes together, from the first 12 bars, both he and I were hollering joyfully, ah, ho, ha, all that. And that's what happened, and it went through the years with various people. In fact, a little hang up if I was around musicians who were taking themselves very seriously, too seriously. It was, yeah, okay, but it was not nearly as wonderful as when we all were sharing in the joy. But that recording you just mentioned just kind of happened. It was not a plan. And I was in France, and the guy who gets the books, the jobs, he said, it's good to get even though you've been at it and you've made so many albums and you've toured in Europe, it's good in the way the scene is to keep bringing something different, and it's a reminder or whatever. So it just kind of happened, and somebody said, you were born on D-Day, June the 6th, 1944, the literal day. And that's the British colonial influence in Jamaica. That's before Bob Marley and the whole incredible thing that happened after Jamaican independence in 1962. Gosh, did I lose my point? I just lost my point. Tell me what I was saying, man.
No, man, you talking about, you know, D-Day, June 6th, the day that you were brought in, but I think
Right.
that on a certain day as D-Day, bringing it in, they brought you in and you have dedicated your life to kind of turning D-Day around into something else.
Thank you. Thank you. I was telling you some kind of trivial, the name Montgomery, because in the British system, when that day happened, the most significant names at the time were Montgomery, who was the British general, and then of course there was Eisenhower, who was the general for America, who became the president, right? And Charles de Gaulle, the French general, and he became the president of France. And I knew all this all through the years. I knew this. And when I was born and they called me after Montgomery, hence the name Monty, then you're hearing this reminding about this thing the whole all through your life. And here I am doing this piece thing called play music when you're named after somebody who is leading people who go into the battlefield.
Yeah.
So, and as you said, the whole world is continuously at strife, and there are us peacemaker people, yourself, myself, all our music friends, our people in entertainment, we're about peace. Let's be friends. And I've seen that happen when others and myself play music. People who might walk into an auditorium and they may be having a bad day, or they're at enmity with the guy sitting next to them, right? When you get through putting some groove on them, people, they walk out of there smiling like they forgot what happened 2 hours before that. And I
That's
see it.
right.
It's because, so music is one of the balms to heal. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
And there are other things. I mean, humor, good, you tell a good joke. It's your whatever. You bring people together because we share common uh, things that we're fond of, right? And
Absolutely.
I've seen it with music. You play the music on whatever medium. I'm playing it on the piano, and I got raw evidence for that fact. And may we keep doing this till the cows come home.
Oh, man, you know, the mathematics, you know, you talk about unity, melody, and Jamaican love that emanates. And you're our Jamaican love music general, man. You're the
Well,
general.
but I have to tell you, this thing about Jamaica, which I was born and raised in, and as Jamaican as one can get, was no less or no more than when I first heard music coming from the great country of America. I mean, as a kid, I'm hearing rhythm and blues on the local radio, Radio Jamaica, a humble radio station, and they were playing all kind of music. It wasn't a jazz station or a rock station no, there's all kinds. So I'm hearing Rachmaninoff, and I'm hearing Chopin, then I'm hearing Jimmy Reed, and then I'm hearing Cannonball, and I'm hearing Errol Garner. So it's all, and it's just one love, So they're all equal because the thing, and I'm honored to have this Jamaican heritage of mine, but it's no less than that profound day when I saw Louis Armstrong on stage, shook that man's hand, didn't wash my hand for quite a while, and that's right. Hey there, hey, good evening, everybody, and it was Pops, and Nat Cole. Those two men kind of, because I was digging all the rhythm and blues guys. So for me, I can't explain. I don't even know what jazz is because we have these little, barriers. To me, it's just music, all kinds.
I don't think many people know really what this word jazz means. They're all kind of confused about it, but what they do know is the feelings that they get. I mean,
Yeah.
you titled a couple of pieces on this D-Day album. One of them is called Aggression. The other one is called Rhythm of Peace or River of Peace. But I feel like when I listen to these songs, it's just like we're bathing in these waters of love and togetherness, man. And so I can tell
Wow.
you really care about humanity, man, when you play.
Thank you very, very much. And that is a philosophy that one should really work towards, because the key thing, of course, we talk about love, you got to forgive. Right now, people ain't doing the forgiving, as much as we would like.
Yeah.
They're not going to church meeting, they're not going to, set that they pick up the rifle or the sword, and it's hard to explain. But D-Day, of course, that's in my case, that's the day I was born, and I carry that heavy, reminder. It's not a fun thing to be reminded about. This is people who are getting slaughtered on the beaches of Normandy, So it's funny, but it just kind of happened making the recording. And as I went about it, I I just said, let me do these songs in a sequence that it's like a little chronology of what happened. I started off with "I'll Never Smile Again," Frank Sinatra's one of his very first songs. I knew Mr. Sinatra, and he is the guy why I got to New York. He heard me playing. So I said, that's a good way to start it. And I said, "I'll never smile again." I played that, right? One take, maybe two. And then I went to these other things, and I played "Smile," which is the positive side of not smiling.
Right.
You never smile, but hey, smile. And Nat Cole sang "Smile." The first time I heard it was my hero, Nat,
Yeah.
And of course, I reflect on like my other hero, Duke Ellington, when I play something called VE Day, VE Swing. It was reflecting on when I saw Duke and the big band playing and rocking so hard, So the whole record, I feel happy about it, but it came without really any stress. It was just roll out the piano, man. Roll the tape.
Well, you've had many of these great special relationships in your life. You just mentioned Frank, and I know that kind of started it all over at Jilly's and
That's right. That's right.
Miles and Clint. And there are many different phases for you and all of these guys. But let's talk about how collectively these relationships shape your life and philosophy of music. What did they add to Monte, and how have they bloomed and blossomed?
When any of these larger than life people came along, it kind of just happened. I didn't kind of seek any of these people out, but I was playing at that very Jilly's where Sinatra had told his best friend, Jilly Rizzo. And that's where I met Miles Davis. And Miles coming there, and I'm playing, and he comes over to me, and he writes his phone number down, and he asked me where I learned to play like that. And, I didn't know what to say. Next thing I started hanging out at Miles' apartment. We went to the fights together because I'm a crazy boxing fan, as he was, you know. And then I meet all these other men that are larger than life. I knew Oscar Peterson, and he hooked me up with a record company, and I made 9 albums at this German label called MPS. I got to know one of my heroes of all, Ahmad Jamal, who was really a great friend and a great inspiration. I'm meeting all these people, man. And not only that, I'm meeting Muhammad Ali. It doesn't get better than that. And I'm hanging out with Ali. I'm going to see him train down in Miami at the Fifth Street Gym. But most of these things just happened. They were just like gifts, And when those people touch you on the shoulder and say something like, man, you're doing good, kid, that's just confidence. You say, I'm not wannabe, I be, I'm be.
Right. It's kind of like a recharge, when they touch you and that is like, boom, all right, man. I'm like, I gotta bless more people, and
Amen.
It's a blessing to come across those guys and have them give you some love about what you're doing, because they're at the top of their game and you're at the top of yours, man. So it almost puts everybody on this same level, which I think is one of your philosophies with what you're doing in the world and music.
Thank you very much. I am seeking to keep that ethic alive, and it's my turn to do a little passing it along. First of all, there's so many talented young guys, women coming out of these music schools now.
Yeah.
And once in a while, I run into somebody that's such a master on the piano that I want to say something encouraging. And one guy I heard playing the other day was playing so much piano, and he calls me up to say, Mr. Alexander, what can you show me? I said, man, I can't show you that thing. You're already as bad as it can get, And he was just in his early 20s, and just keep going, And I'm thinking that's kind of what Miles said to me.
Yeah.
I didn't get on the bandstand. Once Miles embarrassed me by calling me up on the bandstand at the Village Vanguard. I was like, what am I going to do? He said, play me some piano. And so I feel like that's all I can do. I can't teach music. You can't teach it. You got to have that feeling, Well, that's my philosophy.
Yeah, those are great moments in life, and I know a lot of them happen to you, and you get a chance to turn it around too. I mean, you're playing with some younger cats that are in your band, man. You guys are all, lovely, peace-minded cats that want to go ahead and give this swing. It's your idea. I mean, you're setting the tone, but you're communicating with a different generation who is learning from you and kind of can go out and be themselves too, but they still got a Potter Monte with them.
I think right now the relationship I have with both Jason Brown on drums and Luke Selleck on the bass is like, once again, kind of magical thing. You can't force that union. You don't know where the love is coming from, but I'm on the bandstand and I just start playing something and I just feel this warm welcome, like say, yeah, let's do that, And if I happen to look around, because he set up the drums are right behind me, and I look and I see Jason, he got the beautiful smile, kind of like you right now. You got that smile. And Jason, you play something and this woo and all that, And I love it because it's about having fun with each other too, right there on the bandstand. We're having a loving, you can't buy that.
Yes. Well, your mission goes beyond. It's really not entertainment. You guys are up there to depart this sound and share in these ideas, but it's really not, you're not there to entertain, man. That just kind of comes along with,
it comes along. It's a byproduct.
Yeah.
I didn't come there for the audience.
No.
First of all, I came there for me to be grateful to the creator for the gift and to share that with these guys with me and back and forth, Yeah. I mean, you can't pay a guy enough for that, I mean, next thing you have them there and they're with you on that thing. So you're not thinking about, I always say though, that the audience, if it's a trio, the audience is the fourth member of the trio.
Yeah.
And it's like when you do your programs, and you're talking to people, they're there to make your program even better, right?
Oh, no doubt.
That's my thing.
I think to top the quintet off is space. So you have the trio, you got the audience, and then there's this space where nothing is said, but there's still a lot that's communicated.
That's kind of deep, brother. You're right. There's that space. It's like it's that space where you say, you just pray for that good note, and that moment, that harmonic moment to come, and it's like, it's juicy, brother. it's just so beautiful to have that, you know. But I've
Oh,
been through some periods where I'm saying I can't quite something's missing. It's like and then lo and behold, it comes back to, and I think that's the case with writers that might have that, what you call writers, you know, like they're in the desert, you know,
hmm,
the script ain't coming, you know.
sure, sure.
But then some people are more you know, prolific at that, you know. Me, you know, it's but you said it, once I touch a note on the piano, it's like piano says to Monty, hello, Mr. Monty, play me some nice feelings here, you know. That's how it feels, you know.
Well, you have a skeleton that's laid out, but what I really like about the music so much, and especially you, is that you could be playing and then like your ideas are right on the tip of your finger. So it's like at any moment you can just like, oh, let's just do this. You can just change your mind and everybody gets it, you know, like, oh, and you created this new burst of energy that didn't exist before, man. It's great.
Well, I tell you this, sometimes I think if given a chance, you'll get it. But sometimes during a set, when I started doing this like from even 30, 40 years ago, I would recall my love of the Western movies, the cowboy songs, right? And I
Yeah.
start playing, and I get the whole audience singing "Home on the Range," you know. I'm serious. And one guy, one promoter, he booked me for and when I went into that, he's looking for some serious take you from February. And I got the whole audience sing, "Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam," and me, that's because I'm sharing what I love, you know.
Right.
And it's all good, man. It's all good. You know,
It's
I like all kinds of music. Yeah.
Well, you know, promoters and people like that, you know, it's like you can't buy a ticket and then go to a performance, or you can't be a producer and have this and like, I want it to be like that. It's like, no, it's
Right.
and whichever way it goes, all you did was invest your time and money into the artist. And then that space to create, however it goes, that's what you
That
get. That's
bingo. That's right. So you hope that the promoter, the presenter, you know, he doesn't feel like his money was wasted. But I tell you, that audience loved it.
oh,
You
of
know,
course. Well,
in fact,
that's why you're there.
you know, so and it's just coming from the heart. You know, it's not a clever plan. You know,
Right.
and anyhow, that was just, you know, because I'll play anything at the right moment. Those musicians that do that, I think of Sonny Rollins, who I
Mm,
know quite well. Sonny is another West Indian. He's from the Virgin Islands.
yeah.
And we used to speak on the phone quite a bit because just one incredible human being. Besides what he does, and he'll play anything. He'll be playing one of those solos. You check out Sonny Rollins. In the middle, he play "Pop Goes the Weasel." He play Popeye. he
Yeah, yeah,
play
but that's
he
fun.
play. You know, and he just brings that his childhood fascination. That's kind of me, you know. I just, you know, people say, What's that?" I said, "It's like, don't worry about it, you know."
Right.
Thank you.
Well, those are
Yeah,
great
man.
things because those are the things that aren't planned, but you know, God puts it in front of you at the very last minute. Oh, like you thought you had what you were going to play right here, and then all of a sudden you're playing it, and then all of a sudden, ooh, it opened up. Oh, there's some other ideas. Let's go here. You know, I love that.
that's right. Well, you know, on a really personal note, I was I never studied it because I was playing every night. You know, back when I had Mr. Clayton and Mr. Hamilton playing with me, you know, we were playing every night for that 2.5 years, and then subsequent reunions. I had this technique, but I'm playing the piano like up and down, blah blah blah, notes, right? I said, why am I playing all those notes, man? And my heroes included people like Harry Sweets Ellis,
Mm,
Miles, and people. All they had to do was play, you know, basic,
mm,
not cold. They weren't blah, they just played two or three. And when I had something called pancreatic cancer 12 years ago, I had that. That's a scary one, right? I
mm,
survived it. I'm here. And after that, I had a stroke on my left side, a minor one, but
mm,
it's there.
mm.
So I don't hit my boogie woogie like I used to, right? But it made me play less notes, you know, which is what I loved about all these heroes of mine. They play three notes and give them a smile, you know.
Yeah.
So all that technique thing is all well and good, but that's not what it's about, you know.
Well, sometimes, you know, and a lot of times, less is more because you
That's
live
it.
inside this rich tone and resonation of your thought. You know, the world moves by so fast. Every day it's moving by so fast. But when you play a note that's, that's resonating, you force people to stop and feel and
It's
listen and accept and emote and like, oh, like
gosh,
give them a chance to go,
take a breath.
yeah, yeah.
Well put. And I guess that's the byproduct. You're playing this heartfelt, simple thing, the petals of a rose.
Mhm.
Duke wrote this beautiful music. It's just a simple piece of nature, and you do that, and you do it from your heart. No adornment, no fuss, and it does give the people who are now living in this frenzied world no thanks or thanks to the smartphone, which is really taken up over our lives.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and if we don't put a curb on that, we have no human relations because nobody talks to anybody anymore. They
No.
talk through the device, right? And everything becomes a device. And man, I have to look and see what time is the flight, all that. And I guess that a simple little melody can give people a chance to breathe. And that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I remember Yusef Lateef would say, in his concerts, just like, look at the trees and the leaves and the wind. They're blowing. They're talking to you. You're communicating with you.
Wow.
Slow down. Watch that. Like that's the world talking to you, and you're just walking right on by trying to get to the subway. Well, look at the flower. Look, take a moment. We don't take moments to enjoy the world's beauty. And I think, in some of those tones that you're talking about and some of the more simple melodies gives us an opportunity to slow down and understand that.
Well, you just mentioned one of the practitioners of simplicity, Mr. Yusef Lateef. But I
Woo!
remember way back, I was playing in Detroit. I was just getting into this thing, playing at Baker's Keyboard Lounge, and Yusef was he was one of those first. He and Ahmad Jamal,
Mm.
both of those men, found Islam, and their philosophies as they were that it was in their music when they played. And those men really meant a lot to me. So Yusef Lateef, formerly known as Bill Evans, if you didn't know that.
I did, but I forgot about Bill Evans. I only, you
In
said.
fact, you don't want to mention the original that name. Some people call it the slave name. They don't. No, 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 no.
Right,
They
right.
don't want to hear that. We're moving ahead now, embracing our heritage, Africa.
So, man, 80, I know that may represent a number of years to many on this planet, an accumulation of wisdom and knowledge and relationships, but music is another energy, man. It's about that love and that happiness and the messages that you have inside yourself. And so at this particular juncture, I mean, when I talk to you, I don't think 80, I think about the energy that you give me back. So it's probably more like, 45 or 50, but when your fingers touch the ivory, what messages do you want to emote to your audience, your public, especially, when you put together this D-Day, which is your birthday, man?
I think while I'm loving what I'm doing, it's maybe I don't really think about it, but really it's the best thing I could come up with is love one another. Love one another. Let's take it easy. Don't jump the gun. And I'm just a music person here, and when I get introduced to the audience by the presenters, now ladies and gentlemen, MonteAlexander, right? And they sometimes some of them know that I received this title from Jamaica. My government called me OJ. I'm MonteAlexander OJ, Order of Jamaica. And I
Mm.
get on the bandstand, and they're waiting for me to say something profound or heavy, right? I look at people, ladies and gentlemen, it's good to have a job. And exactly, I've been doing it, and the more I do it, the more I believe it, I know it. I know that you feel that way about your job
Yeah.
or jobs, and I say that, and people, of course, they crack up like mad, but it's something don't take yourself so seriously, like you're honoring them. No, I'm not here to honor, you're honoring me by coming to sit there and hear me play music. So
Sure.
that's probably one of the things I try to get across. Don't
Well,
take yourself, I'm so important. No, sir.
yeah, it's a great balancer. I mean, I host a lot of performances and I'm on stage talking to the audience. And I feel like my job is there's all of these different levels. Some people understand the music like this, some don't at all. It's people don't even know jazz. There's all of these people in there.
Yeah.
But when you talk to them and you level it out and you get them right on this one plane and open them up, now they're ready to receive and boom, then they're going to get, this unfiltered version of Love and Monty Alexander, bro.
Oh, come on, man. But you and I could be talking a lot, man, a whole lot more than whatever time we got together.
No doubt.
Because you encourage me, and then I like how you put it. That's right. But how to bring that equal? Let's all be at one here. Nobody's more sophisticated or less than the other. We're all here receiving it. In fact, if they walk out of there, and the next thing they're more enthusiastic about the music, or just as the person that was sitting next to them that was going on, like, I really know what's happening here.
Yeah, right.
Because that's one of the scary things about the word jazz. I think a lot of people said, I don't know what jazz is. But I heard this guy playing a saxophone last week. I don't know. They said it was jazz, but I really liked it. You
Yeah.
know, like I thought it was a complicated thing. I mean, if you play them some Coltrane with Miles, and then later on, guy going to say something's going on here, but I can't explain it. But there's a feeling, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's about the feeling should never be eliminated. I don't hear enough talk about the feeling, because that's what it is for me.
That's all it is. And I think those people, the person that's sitting next to him that has, oh yeah, he played the minor chord. It's like that's a closed version. The person sitting next to you that didn't know is open. So they're open to all the ideas. The people that have the knowledge are closed to what they know, which is a limited idea of music, and
Mm-hmm.
it can't be controlled. So when people say, oh yeah, I love jazz. I go, okay,
Right.
I'm like, yeah, all right. When the people's like, well, I don't know much about it, but I'm open. Love those people because they're gonna come and they're gonna soak up everything as opposed
Yes,
to
sir.
judging what they know or like what falls under their knowledge of the music. So we have a lot to impart and teach to the audience and these folks, man, and you do it in such a wonderful way. Um,
Uh-huh.
most people get documentaries when they're not here anymore. They talk about what has happened, but we talking about what is happening when we're talking about the documentary. So why don't you mention the
Oh
month?
yeah, well, yes, I was approached by some good guys in California who love Jamaica. And in fact, they were more about more about Jamaica and reggae and such than if I start telling them about certain jazz stuff, they may not have been familiar, but they just want to know more about Monty Alexander. They met me in Switzerland. They brought the camera to Jamaica, and they captured a lot of stuff there. And to me, there's a whole lot more, because my story is, I can't even begin to explain how I could have experienced all that I have. I mean, I'm almost a survivor of all kind of shenanigans. My gigs, my first jobs were playing in those gangster clubs in Miami, Florida. I was playing literally, guy carrying a 38 revolver in those bars and saloons. That's my Juilliard. That's how I learned, because you gotta be swinging when you're playing in some of those places. So anyhow, to get to the point, I think they ran out of funds temporarily because it's on hold right now. So much has been done, and they're looking to get some more because they want to tell more. They're
Sure.
all, and I'm willing to go along with it, but it's like it's having a little hiatus right now, because there's so much more to tell, and there's so much has been told already.
Yeah.
And my early Jamaica days, and as you know, Jamaica is a whole entity in itself, and that's where I'm from. if I was talking to you and you're a Jamaican DJ, let me shift gears right now. Mr. Downs, what go on, sir? Me and you are talk now on the Zoom thing, and we have a talk all kind of thing about music and how to make people feel good.
I love
You heard
it.
that?
I
That's
love it.
it's another twist, you know. It's just like shifting gears a little bit. And sometimes, you know, and when I first came to America, and I was around some of my heroes, the cats, so to speak, and they heard my accent. They say, "Hey man, where you from? Where you from? Where you from?" I said, "Jamaica." He said, "You mean the racetrack out in Queens?" I said, "No, no, 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 the other one." And I started, hey, this. I started talking like this. Now I'm going to be more like an American. I go into this thing, and I was getting tired of people saying, "Where are you from?"
Yeah,
My answer to that would have been, "Where am I going?" It's not where I'm from. It's where am I going? But
absolutely.
I started talking like that now because I remember I heard one of my movie star heroes talking like this, or the guy who did the news on the CBS channel. You know,
Oh,
that's not how I talk, but I would do that just to avoid that. You know, and these days now the roots are coming back up because when I'm talking to you, I feel very comfortable. I'm not talking deep Jamaican country. You know, I'm talking more, what do you call it, eloquent, right? But I can shift the language, you know.
well, I
That's
know
another stuff.
one of the things that you've done to get people off of that, man, is you come out on the stage and you throw the flag right over the piano. Bam, there it is.
I did that.
Jamaica.
I did that for a while.
Yeah,
But I realized, you know, I'm really a citizen of the world, the
yeah,
whole world. I don't know if there's a flag for the world, but
sure.
that's the flag I want to put on the piano, if any now. Yes, Jamaica. Yes, America. I mean, I got my US passport. I'm honored to have one, right? But I got the Jamaican heritage, but I want to put a flag. What's the flag for the world? I don't know, but you
Right.
know.
Well, we got to make that, man. And you're making it with the music, man. And, it's like if we're going to represent everybody on this flag, man, we
Yes.
go square, brother.
I just enjoyed. I just came from Tokyo. I was at the Blue Note there, and I was there on that wonderful international jazz day, right?
Hmm.
A
Hmm.
lot of folks went to Morocco. I mean, thanks to Mr. Herbie Hancock, what he has done, right? And that was getting closer to this world thing, you know, that
Right.
the whole world, and I see how it's taking effect, you know.
Yeah.
But I was playing with an orchestra there, had charts, you know, and it's important, you know, to have the whole world fall into this because that's one of the that's one of the ways to bring people together, you know, sharing this wonderful gift that America gave to the world, Africa gave to the world via America, you know, and then the rest of the world. But to me, you know, it's such a rich, I mean, when Louis Armstrong was touring in Russia, you know, there was a better relationship at the time between America and Russia, you know. Satchmo was out there, and Willis Conover, that was the guy from the radio that went all over the world, you know. So there's a way to bring people together with music. That's my belief.
Well, that's how we doing it, man. I thank you. I appreciate you. I honor you, brother, man. It's a beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for being right here on the Just Jazz Cafe with me, Leroy Downs. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Monty Alexander. All right, brother. Woo!
Thank you very much, Mr. Dawns. God bless you. Thanks for the time, and looking forward to seeing you in the person one
And,
of these days,
and
sooner rather than later.
sooner. Let's make it sooner.
All right, chap.
Brother,
Bless.
love, man. Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Back at you. Back
Bye.
at you.